Who do you think you are? You can't stop me. There you go. Alright. I'll paralyze you. Let's sneak in. Oh man, it's the man himself, isn't it? What's his? Alright, let's read. The plan to defeat Dagat. For the past 20 years, the Tribunal have tried unsuccessfully to execute this plan. However, we failed because we were required to stage an assault and simultaneously maintain the ghost fence to prevent the threatened large-scale breakout of Dagat-Ur's blighted hosts. With the Neverwing leading the assault, and the Tribunal free to devote their full energies to maintaining the ghost fence, this plan has a greater chance of success. Unfortunately, however, the loss of the artifacts Sunder and Keening, and the recent increase of Dagat's strength poses new problems for the execution of the plan. Therefore, our proposed plan has the following 5 phases. A series of aggressive raids to scout inside the ghost fence. A series of aggressive raids to neutralize Dagat's ash vampire kin and recover artifacts from the bodies of his kin. An assault of Gate Citadel Veminal to neutralize Dagat Vemin. Oh, jeez. So many Dagats. And recover the artifact Hammer Sunder. You know, I have like the Stendar's hammer, isn't that like good enough? It's an artifact. An assault of Gate Citadel Adrosal to neutralize Dagat Odros and recover the artifact Blade Keening. An assault of Citadel Dagat with the artifacts Raid Guard, Sunder and Keening and to sever Dagat-Ur's connection to the heart of Lorkhan and thus to destroy Dagat-Ur. Okay, phase 1. Oh my god, this plan is... This guy really likes to write, doesn't he? I'm gonna need a little bit of water for this. The Tribunal, or Tribunal, whatever, coordinators and buoyant makers are familiar with the terrain and will provide maps and current intelligence reports. The region inside the Ghost Fence is dangerous, and the Neverwing will need to be familiar with its particular challenges. After measuring skills and resources against Dagat-Ur's defenses, the Neverwing will know better how to pace the campaign, alternating raids with improving skills, getting better equipment and stockpiling resources. Sounds like a lot of pain in the ass. Can't we just go in there and kill everyone? Raids upon Ash Vampire Citadels. Dagat-Ur's kin have become markedly more powerful in recent decades after remaining stable for thousands of years. If they can be individually isolated and destroyed, they will not be able to support Dagat-Ur in later stages of the war. It may also be that a dramatic increase in their power comes from items enchanted by Dagat-Ur. Salvage of such items might contribute to our resources. Assault on Gate Citadel Veminal. Essential to recover the artifact Hammer Sunder for Phase 5. The Ash Vampire Dagat Vemin has possession of Sunder and probably seeks to discover the secrets of his enchantments. He may also have access to notebooks and journals of Kagrenak that have survived in the workshops of Veminal. Assault on Gate Citadel Adrosal. Essential to recover the artifact Blade Keening for Phase 5. The Ash Vampire Dagat-Odros has possession of Keening and probably seeks to discover the secrets of its enchantments. He may also have access to notebooks and journals of Kagrenak that have survived the Driver Workshop of Adrosal. Oh god, Assault on Citadel Dagat. All the previous stages are preparations for this stage. Recent expeditions show that Citadel Dagat has undergone extensive expansion. The location will need to be explored carefully. The known route to the Heart Chamber will be well defended. Alternative routes may exist. Dagat-Ur will have anticipated our plan to destroy him by attacking the Heart, and he will almost certainly personally oppose approach to the Heart Chamber. Great news! Meaning that You're stupid. This plan is stupid. He already knows of it. Let's just go in there and kill him. Together the tribunal could not defeat him, and he has grown stronger since then. Admittedly, the tribunal had the distraction of maintaining the ghost fence simultaneous with fighting Dagat, but even so, the challenge seems daunting. It's fine, I'll take care of it. The adoption of this phased campaign seems to offer the best chances for success. In retrospect, the tribunal's decision to direct assault Citadel Dagat rather than proceed step by step through lesser suggestions must be seen to have been a serious error. Really? Well, go on. The tribunal did not feel it had the option of a slow-paced and deliberate campaign, given that they had many other competing priorities, not the least of which was the maintenance of the ghost fence and the outer defenses surrounding Red Mountain. Neverwinter, on the other hand, should be best served by careful step-by-step advance with the additional advantage of building confidence along the way, while successes would undermine Dagat-Ur's own assurance in his defenses. Deploying Kagranak's tools against Dagat-Ur. The source of Dagat-Ur's supernatural power is the heart of Lorkhan. The heart is also the source of the tribunal's divine powers. Interesting. During meeting times, the gods took and hid Lorkhan's heart beneath Red Mountain as a punishment for creating the mortal plane. Which gods? Oh, whatever. The Dwemer discovered the heart while building underground colonies. High Craft Lord Kagranak created enchanted tools intended to tap the power of the heart. The war of the First Council was fought to prevent this sacrilege. Why? Who cares? Kagranak's use of these tools and the disappearance of the Dwemer race marked the end of the war. Kagranak's tools were recovered by Lord Nervar and Dagat-Ur. Dagat-Ur was left to guard the tools while Nervar came to consult with us, his advisors. I see. So he betrayed you. In Nervar's absence, Dagat-Ur experimented with the tools upon the heart and was corrupted. Really? Huh? We returned to discover a deranged Dagat-Ur who refused to turn over the tools. When he attacked us, we drove him away. Ha! He didn't seem that strong back then. We left Red Mountain with the tools and subsequently saw the Sill discovered their secrets. Oh, poor old guy. Collectively, we used the tools to establish a connection with the heart, enabling ourselves to transform our mortal natures. Thus, we became the Tribunal. You pansies. No matter, I've already taken care of one of you, I can take care of another. With a crossbow, no less. That's the skill of a ninja right there. Dagat-Ur had survived our attacks, and without the tools in the manner not well understood, Dagat-Ur also managed to establish a connection with the heart and to transform himself into an immortal being. So not quite a god, just immortal. Close enough. Our plan to destroy Dagat-Ur also runs the risk of destroying the Tribunal. Ooh. The plan is to permanently disrupt Kagranak's enchantments upon the hearts, severing connections with Dagat-Ur and ourselves, and rendering us all once again mortal. A mortal Kagranak may then be destroyed by mundane means. Wait, what? Whoa? Oh, so Kagranak has also done the same thing. There's 5 of them. Everybody's being a god these days. Holy shit. The loss of godhood and the possible death of the Tribunal are just a necessary risk and sacrifice. But at least you're not assholes. I'll give you that much. I don't know what was wrong with Almalexia. Maybe she didn't agree. Crazy bitch. Normal procedure for establishing connection with the heart is a 3-step process. The wearer of Wraith Guard strikes the heart with a hammer sunder. Wraith Guard, is that like an amulet or something? Causing the heart to produce a pure tone. Then the bearer of the Wraith Guard strikes the heart with a blade keening, shattering the pure tone into a prism of tone shades. Ooh, these tone shades are then imprinted upon the substance of the wearer of Wraith Guard, giving him an immortal and divine nature. Ooh. Well, it's very nice of you to lay down exactly what I need to do to become a god. I'm joking. The Neverine will not be taught the secret rituals required to perform the third step. Aww. Wait, was that too few steps? The wearer of grass strikes the heart with hammer. Wearer strikes the heart with keening. And then they're imprinted. I see. So you're not gonna teach me how to imprint them. Oh. That's too bad. Well, I didn't want to do it anyway. But, you know. Whatever. Instead, the Neverine will strike the heart with keening for a second time, causing stones to diverge into unstable patterns of interference. Further repeated strikes with keening will further disrupt the tones, with the ultimate result of shattering and dispelling Kagranak's original enchantments, binding the heart, by severing the heart's links with Dagged and with any surviving heart whites. Oh god, that makes you sound like a lich. And with the tribunal destroying Kagranak's enchantments on the heart will also stop the corrupt effusion of the heart's divine power and end the blight on Morrowind. Man, let's do it. Why not? The Neverine may be tempted to steal the power of the heart. Oh, shut up. Dude. If you had just laid them out before me, I wouldn't even had as tiny as singlest interest in it. But now that you've put one of them in secrecy, I have this urge to go and find it. Not to use it, just to find it. And the act of finding it could indeed produce, well, someone, not me, someone else who could accidentally stumble upon it as well. Because they happen to be followed by random people at random times, as you have noticed in the past, I don't know, adventure, let's call it that way. So really, you're not doing yourself any favors, but whatever. They got her and Sodasil alone know the secret. Nope. Sodasil doesn't know shit anymore. Unless you're referring to me being tempted, which is not the secret, but whatever. Dagged may, in extremity, propose to teach the Neverine to use Kagranak's tools to become a god. Well, I'll go have a chat with him then. We doubt that the Neverine is fool enough to trust Dagged and are content to take this risk. Oh man. Look. Be warned, the Neverine cannot safely equip either Keening or Sunder unless wearing Wraith Guard. Why? The Neverine will be injured every moment while holding either of these artifacts unless protected by Wraith Guard. What if I consume a Philosopher's Stone first? Persistence will be rewarded with death. If Neverine can equip an item while not wearing Wraith Guard and receive no injury, the item is a counterfeit. But once again, what if I'm using a Philosopher's Stone? One last note, Dagged must not get hold of Wraith Guard. Neverine must prepare and use a recall or civ intervention if there is any risk of death or capture. Okay. The element of surprise, Dagged will not expect you to destroy Kagranak's enchantments on the heart. He does not know it is possible, he would not do it himself, and he knows we have never tried it. He will not believe anyone would want to sacrifice the promise of such power. Hey, this is Lord of the Rings all over again. Further advancement in House Dagged, others in all great houses, is by challenge and confrontation within the hierarchy. The Neverine's challenges and defeats of Ash Vampires and battles with the Sixth House will be viewed in that light. Dagged and his kin may assume the Neverine's ambition is to control the heart. Given that assumption, it is only reasonable that the Neverine would try to defeat each of Dagged's subordinates in turn, working up to Dagged. If the Neverine can defeat Dagged and control the heart, so much the better, but logically the Neverine would wish rise as high in the hierarchy as possible before cutting a deal with the head of the house. Ooh, whatever. Dagged should try to recruit the Neverine to House Dagged. It may be possible to pretend to join him, then betray him. However, any attempt to deceive him will be very risky. House Dagged has a tradition of subterfuge subterfuge and treachery, and because he is a deceiver, he will expect deception. Closing remarks. We have no compulsion upon the Marine to adhere to the plans described. The plans described here. We believe that they offer the best chance of destroying Degator, but we have also chosen to place our trust in the Marine's judgment and skill. Frankly, we see no alternative. Oh. Here I thought you trusted me. Well, I guess you didn't, because you didn't teach me shit, but whatever. If there are doubts or questions, speak with Vivec. He has agreed to serve as the Marine's guide and counselor for this campaign. Excellent! We shall have a chat after I'm done reading all the documents. It may be that if the Marine succeeds, the Tribunal will not survive. Such sentiments as might have been expressed to the Tribunal should in that case be addressed to the land and people of Morrowind. May the happy convergence of fortune and prayer meet in our destiny on behalf of Lady Almalexia and Lord Sel Vivec. Silly. Very silly, Vivec. Battle of Red Mountain. Oh, jeez. This is going to have to be its own episode, isn't it? Oh, dear. The following is a transcript of the words of Lord Vivec addressed to a dissident priest, Malor Omain, who confronted Vivec with the Ashlander tradition surrounding the Battle of Red Mountain and with prophecies of the Neverine, and to unnamed magistrates of the Inquisition who joined Vivec in interrogating the dissident priest. Who can clearly recall the events of the distant past? But you have asked me to tell you in my own words the events surrounding the Battle of Red Mountain, the birth of the Tribunal, and the prophecies of a Nerevar reborn. Here's what I can tell you. When the Chimer first abandoned the herds and tents of their nomadic ancestors and built the first great houses, we loved the Daedra and worshipped them as gods. But our brethren, the Dwemer, scorned the Daedra and mocked our foolish rituals, and preferred instead their gods of reason and logic. So the Chimer and Dwemer were always at bitter war, until the Nords came and invaded Restday. Only then did the Chimer and Dwemer put away their strife and join together to cast out the invaders. Red Mountain. This also feels like it's taken from The Hobbit, doesn't it? Maybe it was an inspiration for them. Once the Nords were driven out, General Nerevar of the Chimer and General Dumac of the Dwemer, who had come to love and respect one another. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, they were man and woman. That's right. I think. Maybe. I hope. Well, actually, I don't really care. I keep confusing myself with this. I've got Ian at the end. I'm not Nerevar, I don't have to care. Who had come to love and respect one another, resolved to make peace between their peoples. In that time, I was but a junior counselor to Nerevar, and Nerevar's queen, Almalexia, and his other favorite counselor, Sadasil, always doubted that such a peace might long survive, given the bitter disputes between Chimer and Dwemer, but by negotiation and compromise, Nerevar and Dumac somehow managed to preserve a fragile peace. But when Degator, Lord of House Dagoth, entrusted as a friend by both Nerevar and the Dwemer, brought us proof that High Engineer Kagrenak of the Dwemer had discovered the heart of Lorcan, and that he had learned how to tap its powers and was building a new god, a mockery of Chimer faith and a fearsome weapon. We urged Nerevar to make war on the dwarves and to destroy this threat to Chimer beliefs and security. Nerevar was troubled. He went to Dumac and asked if what Degator said was true. Kagrenak took great offense and asked whom Nerevar thought he was, that he might presume to judge the affairs of the Dwemer. Oh boy. Was it? No, it was Dumac, not Kagrenak. So Kagrenak was the High Engineer. Well, whatever. Nervar was further troubled and made pilgrimage to Himalayas, the sacred temple of Azura, and Azura confirmed that all that Dagat said was indeed true, and that the creation of a new god of the Dwemer should be prevented at all costs. Why is that? You haven't really given any reasons, you said no! How dare they? And look where we ended up. We've got 3 of those assholes running around doing stupid shit now, and 2 more sitting somewhere in a mountain. Like morons. Oh, bother. And when Nervar came back and told us what the goddess had said, we felt our judgments confirmed and again counseled him to war, chiding Nervar for his naive trust and friendship, and reminding Nervar of his duty to protect the fate and security of the Chimer against the impiety and dangerous ambitions of the Dwemer. Or what's going to happen? They'll make a god and he'll get ascend to heaven and then, you know, just be there by himself with other gods. It's not a very good thing. I mean, admittedly, right, we know that these guys use the same fucking power, right? And they're around, so I guess that guy would have also stayed around, hypothetically. I mean, he probably did use that Kagrana guy. He was mentioned as if he was, like, still around. Can't imagine him making all that crap and then not using it. That would be really stupid. Admittedly, if he did do that, make all that crap and not use it, he'd be a really cool guy. We'll have to find him and chat him up as well if he's still around. Then Nervar went back to Vardenfell one last time, hoping that negotiations and compromise might once again preserve the peace. But this time the friends Nervar and Dumak quarreled bitterly, and as a result the Chimer and Dwemer went to war. Oh dear. The Dwemer were well defended by the fortress at Red Mountain, but Nervar's cunning drew most of Dumak's armies out into the field and pinned them there, while Nervar, Dagat and a small group of companions could make their way into the heart chamber by secret means. Why? They think, hey, we're gonna go to this place and destroy it, and then the war will end? I really don't think so. I mean, it probably would have ended a couple of ages later, when everyone would have forgotten the stupid things that everyone did. Guess better than nothing, eh? Right, then Nervar, the Chimer king, met Dumak, the dwarf king, and they both collapsed from grievous wound and draining magics. Ugh. Draining magic. Those are the worst kind of magic. Should have brought Reflect. Noobs. Bunch of noobs. I mean, the king of this country has a ring that could have easily solved all your problems. But I digress. With Dumak fallen and threatened by Dagat and others, Kagranak turned his tools upon the heart, and Nervar said he saw Kagranak and all his Dwemer companions at once disappear from the world. Ooh. So Kagranak disappeared. But he might have used them. What would have made them disappear? I mean, I'm no astrophysicist, but this sounds strange. Anyway, in that instant, Dwemer everywhere disappeared without a trace, but Kagranak's tools remained, and Dagat seized them, and he carried them to Nervar, saying, "That fool Kagranak was destroyed his own people with these things. We should destroy them right away, lest they fall into the wrong hands." Okay, so he's going all full Elrond here. Except he went crazy instead of being Elrond. You fool. He's more of that other guy. whose name I can't recall, because it's been very long since I read Lord of the Rings. Very fucking long. Wasn't it Isildur? Yes, I remember Elrond being Isildur! Oh no, what are you doing? But I think, yeah, his name was Isildur. Why do you trust someone named Isildur? I don't know. You just set yourself up for failure. Anyway, Nerevar was resolved to confer with his queen and his generals, who had foreseen that this war would come and whose counsel he would not ignore again. I mean, it wasn't really hard to see this coming. It's coming, come on. Okay, I will ask the tribunal what we shall do with them, for they have had wisdom in the past that I had not. Stay here, lawyer Dagat, until I return. So Nerevar told Dagat to protect the tools and the hard chamber until he returned. But then he looked at it and he said something with a creepy smile. Anyway, Nerevar was carried to us. Oh, that's right, he was mortally wounded. Where we waited on the slopes of Red Mountain. Why couldn't you climb the damn mountain, you fucking slackers? And he told us all that had transpired under Red Mountain. What Nerevar had said was that the Dwemer had used special tools to turn their people into immortals, and that the heart of Lorkhan had wondrous powers. They disappeared. Only later did we hear from others present that Dagat had thought the Dwemer destroyed, not made immortal, and no one knows for sure what really happened there. Interesting. What did happen there? All those dwarves... Poof. Maybe they did ascend to heaven. There's these three dumbasses just remaining here for some reason, because they're too stupid. Or whatever. After hearing Nerevar, we gave our counsel as he requested, proposing we should preserve these tools in trust for the welfare of the Chimer people. And who knows, perhaps the Dwemer are not gone forever, but merely transported to some distant realm from which they may someday return to threaten our security once again. Therefore, we need to keep these tools to study them and their principles so that we may be safe in future generations. Alright, that sounds, relatively speaking, smart. I mean, you can say looking back to this day it kind of went to shit, but I'm pretty sure there were other mistakes that they have made. We're only halfway through to this, by the way. Holy shit. And this is only the second one. Oh. And though Nerevar voiced his grave misgivings, he was willing to be ruled by our council, on the one condition that we all together should swear a solemn oath upon Azura that the tools would never be used in the profane manner that the Dwemer had intended. We all readily agreed and swore solemn oaths at Nerevar's dictation. And then broke them, obviously, because now you're gods. Well, shite. So then we went with Nerevar back into Red Mountain and met with Dagat. Dagat refused to deliver the tools to us, saying they were dangerous and we could not touch them. Instead, he seemed to be rational, insisting that only he could be trusted with the tools, and then we guessed that he had somehow been affected by his handling of the tools. But now I feel sure that he had privately learned the powers of the tools and had in some confused way decided he must have them for himself. Well, we'll have a chat about that with him, find out what's going on. Then Nerevar and our god resorted to force to secure the tools. Somehow Dagat and his retainers escaped, but we gained the tools and delivered them to Sadacel for study and safekeeping. For some years we kept the oaths we swore to Azura with Nerva, but during that time in secret Sota still must have studied the tools and divined their mysteries. Now you just literally said that that's what you're going to do. You're going to study the tools. There was nothing secret about it. You even pledged to do it for that very reason. Oh, for God's sake. And at last he came to us with a vision of a new world of peace, with justice and honor for nobles. Ooh, and health and prosperity for commoners. With the tribunal as immortal patrons and guides. Yeah, that didn't work out very well though. See, this was your problem. You thought you could handle this shit. No, you can't. You dumbasses. And dedicating ourselves to this vision of a better world, we made a pilgrimage to Red Mountain and transformed ourselves with the power of Kagranak's tools. And no sooner than we had completed our rituals and begun to discover newfound powers, the Daedra Lord Azura appeared and cursed us for our forsworn oaths. I mean, come on. They're gods now. What are you gonna do to them? Nothing, stupid Daedra. By her powers of prophecy, she assured us that her champion Nerva, true to his oath, would return to punish us for our perfidy? Or perfidy. And to make sure such profane knowledge might never again be used to mock and defy the will of the gods. Oh, boo-hoo. So that's why Azura came about there at that time when I killed Almalexis. She was all like, oh yeah, it's totally cool you killed them. Those bastards, I bet she muttered under her, well, breath. Yes, that's the saying that you say here. It all makes sense now. Anyway, Sot still said to her, the old gods are cruel and arbitrary, and you aren't, and distant from the hopes and fears of man. Your age is past. We are the new gods, born of the flesh and wise and caring of the needs of our people. Spare us your threats and chiding in constant spirit. We are bold and fresh and will not fear you. I mean, maybe this system would have worked if they changed the gods every 4 years, you know? Vote who gets to be the god. Yeah, that would maybe work. But I mean, the problem is going to be that with this saying, oh, the old gods are cruel and arbitrary. You know, when you're immortal, eventually comes a time where you're old and cruel and arbitrary too. In some way. Well, maybe not cruel. You can maybe avoid that. I don't know, I've never been immortal, so I can't say. But you definitely will get old. Very, very old. Just won't look it, I guess. And then in that moment, all Chima were changed into Dhamma, and our skills turned ashen and our eyes into fire. Well, he was very correct about one thing, that is fucking arbitrary. Of course, we only knew at that time that this had happened to us, but Azura said, this is not my act, but your act. Really? You have chosen your fate. Oh, fuck off. This is not my act, but your act. I am a deity, so all my actions are profoundly excusable. Jeez Louise. I should have stabbed her when I had a chance. You have chosen your fate and the fate of your people, and all the Dunmer shall share your fate from now to the end of... She literally said that all the Dunmer will share your fate, and you were like, hey, I wonder if she only did this to us. You think yourselves gods, but you're blind, and all is darkness. Well, I like her style, but, I mean... I'm getting a little bit confused here. Who's the god? Who can do what? But I am fairly sure that everyone deserves a good stabbing. Especially Azura. And Azura left us alone in darkness, and we were all afraid. What? Get a torch then! But we put on brave faces and went forth from Red Mountain to build the new world of our dreams. In the new world we shaped was glorious and generous, and the worship of the dumb were fervent and grateful. The number were at first afraid of their new faces, but Sodassil spoke to them, saying that it was not a curse but a blessing. A sign of the changed natures, and sign of the special favor they might enjoy as new mad, no longer barbarians trembling before ghosts and spirits, but civilized mass, speaking directly to their immortal friends and patrons, the three faces of the tribunal. And we were all inspired by Sodassil's speech and vision, and took heart, and over time we crafted the customs and institutions of a just and honorable society, and the land of Resdain knew millennia of peace, equity, and prosperity unknown to other savage races. But beneath Red Mountain, Dagator had survived. Unfortunately. Oh my god. And even as light of our bold new world shined ever more brightly, beneath Red Mountain the darkness gathered, a darkness that was close kin to the bright light that Sodassil coaxed from the heart of Lorcan with the tools of Kagranak. As the darkness grew, we fought it and crafted walls to confine it, but we never could destroy it, for the source of the darkness was the same source as the source of our own divine source inspiration. Should have used some source control, like Git. Would have worked out just fine. In his later days of Morrowind, reduced to a subjugated province of the Western Empire, as the glory of the temple fades and the dark tide rises from the Red Mountain, we are reminded of Azura and her promised champion's return. We have waited blind and in darkness, mere shadow. Are you literally blind? Did she like poke your eyes out or something? That's fucking cruel, dude. Anyway. Drained of our ardent vision, in shame of our folly, in fear of our judgment, and in hope of our deliverance, we do not know if the Outlander claiming to fulfill the prophecies of the Nereid is our old companion Neroa reborn, or a pawn of the Emperor, or a cat's paw. Cat's paw? That's new. Of Azura, or some simple twist of fate. It's probably the last one. Also known as a coincidence. But we insist you adhere to the temple doctrine and conform to the strictures dividing the hieroglypha from the apographa. What the fuck are you even talking about? And that you will not speak that which must not be spoken openly. See, that's very confusing. If you cannot speak about it, how would you pass it on to the rest of the people so they couldn't speak about it? You would literally have to have someone speak about it as a sacrificial lamb and then kill them in the act because they're trying to pass it on. Well, if you're lucky, some asshole just does it anyway and doesn't give a shit, and then you kill him as a heathen. But I mean, what if there's just no one you could call an asshole? I mean, a subjective asshole. There's always going to be assholes, but I mean, from their point of view, you know, it's whatever. Act as a dutiful priest should, in accordance with our vows of obedience to the canons and arch-canons. Whatever, and all will be forgiven. Defy me and you will know what it is to stand against a god. Oh, boo-hoo. Anyway. Oh, look! Dagator came and left his plans over here. How convenient. Is this... Oh, jeez. I need another sip of water.